Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. We're diving headfirst into the esoteric and honestly fascinating cosmology found in a text simply known as the Radical Ones. If you love structured deep dives into mystical exploration and cosmic lore, you are absolutely in the right place. So let's decode what this source material describes as the absolute rarest lineage in all of existence. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the rarest cosmic lineage, existence beyond the rules, restoring balance through joy, the Earth threshold, and finally, the identity of Micah. All right, let's get into it. Kicking things off with Section 1, the rarest cosmic lineage. You know, what's really fascinating here is how the text defines these beings by what they aren't. When we talk about cosmic lore, our minds usually jump to the usual suspects, right? Angels, gods, ascended masters, or standard extraterrestrials. But the radical ones, they are strictly separated from all of those. They don't fit into any pre-existing box that human imagination has built. They are just something else entirely. So you might be wondering, if they aren't any of those things, where exactly do they come from? Well, the lore introduces this mind-bending concept called essence. Think of essence as a primordial field. It's the ultimate before, the state of existence before universes were ever formed, before dimensions were layered, and literally before time itself even started ticking. The radical ones aren't born. They don't evolve through millions of lifetimes. They originate straight from this fundamental primordial field. There's a figure in the text named Zoran who sums this up beautifully. He says, not all beings in this universe came from this universe. Some come from essence beings that are not confined to what you consider to be the whole. Let that sink in for a second. It is a staggering concept. These entities don't just travel across our universe. They exist completely beyond our universe's whole. It's like they're standing outside the snow globe, just peering in. Moving right along to Section 2, existence beyond the rules. Look at the stark contrast here. According to the text, normal cosmic beings, even the super advanced ones, are bound by strict cosmic laws. They're tied to hierarchy, locked into reincarnation cycles, and they answer to spiritual authority. But the radical ones? Totally free movers. They literally walk through dimensions, timelines, incarnations, and gateways without a single restriction. And it's not that they're breaking the rules, they simply exist on a level where those rules do not apply to them. And because they're completely unbound, they don't do organized structures. No councils, no secret orders or brotherhoods, no cosmic governments, and absolutely zero spiritual ranks. They operate with complete, joyful independence. Now, they aren't exactly lone wolves. They'll collaborate when it's needed, and then just go their separate ways when the job is done. Their loyalty is never to a structural hierarchy. It is only ever to balance. That brings us to Section 3, restoring balance through joy. Usually, when we think about immensely powerful cosmic beings, we expect them to lead, to command, or to enforce the law, right? Well, the radical ones don't play that game. The lore makes a really fascinating distinction here. They do not impose balance, they reveal it. They aren't showing up to conquer or dictate terms. They appear simply to dissolve fear and restore a natural equilibrium that somehow got lost along the way. And this leads into what the source material calls the ledger of the radical ones. Check out these descriptions. Balance bringers, humor healers, joy awakeners. Their methods are just so wonderfully unconventional. Instead of being these stoic, unfeeling monoliths in the sky, they use compassion, pure presence, and actual joy to heal. They're cosmic companions who slip through gateways to bring an incredibly uplifting energy to worlds going through massive shifts. In fact, the text actually calls them cosmic jokers. Just listen to this quote. Their humor is not entertainment, it is awakening. Their joy is not distraction, it is medicine. Their laughter is not trivial, it is liberation. I absolutely love that. They literally use the sheer absurdity of limitation to wake up our hearts. When the universe gets way too heavy, bogged down in its own rules and fears, the radical ones use joy as an absolute mechanism for liberation. Honestly, given the state of the universe sometimes, cosmic jokers sound pretty highly qualified for the job. All right, let's shift gears to Section 4, the Earth threshold. 35,000. That is a massive chunk of time. In the context of our text, that represents the number of years a specific radical one has been absent from Earth. But the text is super quick to assure us that this time wasn't an exile. I mean, you can't exactly exile a radical one. Instead, this huge stretch of time was spent in an active state within an unlimited realm, operating completely outside of time and form, just balancing and awakening things elsewhere, before intentionally deciding to return. So, why come back now? Well, radical ones are incredibly rare, and they don't just interfere lightly. They only show up when a world is at a massive threshold, when a species is finally ready, and when a vital mission is unfolding. And the lore claims that Earth, right now, we are at exactly this kind of crucial precipice-like threshold. A profound balance needs to be restored, and so the radical ones return. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the identity of Micah. The source material describes this deeply profound event called the Mothership Ceremony. The steps are so interesting: recognized, remembered, activated, and welcomed back. Notice what's missing there. There is no initiated. This wasn't some induction into a secret club where someone had to prove they were worthy. It was a deeply personal reunion, a moment of being welcomed back into the fold by 12 very specific beings. And just to circle back to our very first point today, the text explicitly asserts that the 12 beings conducting this mothership ceremony were not standard extraterrestrials. They were radical ones. This gathering was a profound acknowledgement by an ancient, entirely unbound lineage, reaching out to recognize one of their own who had taken on human form. Which leaves us with the biggest question of this entire explainer. The lore keeps referring to this central figure, constantly bringing up this specific mission. So, who exactly is Micah? Okay, here's the massive twist. The text drops right on its reader. Your human life is the vehicle. Micah is the essence. You are one of them. Wow, the reader didn't study hard enough to become a radical one. They always were one. Micah is revealed to be the true primordial essence of the subject, ancient, free, joyful, and completely unlimited. They are simply using a human life as a temporary vehicle to restore balance to Earth at this specific threshold in time. We'll wrap up with this really beautiful whisper from Zoran. Traveler, the radical ones do not come to lead. They come to balance. They come to awaken. They come to love. It perfectly sums up everything we've decoded today. And it leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to chew on. If existence is so much vaster than the cosmic rules we see, what might your true essence be? I really hope this explainer sparked some curiosity for you and gave you a clear view into this extraordinary lore. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next explainer.